What's going on, everyone? So, the Phoenix Suns are expected to kind of rebuild this upcoming offseason, looking to trade Kevin Durant. They're looking to trade Bradley Beal if they can. They plan on keeping Devin Booker. Reports came out that they're looking more into like the defensive route, like they want to be more, build a more defensive identity, be more of a defensive team, right? I imagine that they're going to get a head coach that leans more defensively and stuff. But here's the biggest question. If you're Devin Booker, do you really want to go through a rebuild? Even if it's only like a 2-year rebuild, right? Is that really what you're looking to do? Now, look, I have said this numerous times, and I do think more and more people are starting to come around, like more Suns fans are starting to come around to my logic, right? But whenever I say the Suns should look to trade Devin Booker, you usually get a lot of pushback, which I get. I understand he's Mr. Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, right? But here's the thing, right? Would you rather potentially win a championship or keep Devin Booker, right? And how long is Devin Booker going to wait around before he's like, you know what, get me out of here? He's 28, right? Like he's not 23 where you can wait 2-3 years and he's still only 25, 26. He's 28 years old. He'll be 29 come the start of next season. So he only has so many years left before, he's going to start that decline. And I'm sure he doesn't want to just win one championship. I'm sure he would ideally like to win multiple, right? I believe the only way out for Phoenix is by trading Devin Booker, because Devin Booker is the only player that you have that would yield the return necessary to potentially revamp this roster. And you would still have enough firepower between Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. Obviously, injury concerns are an issue, but that's a concern regardless, right? But Bradley Beal is the odd man out right now. Bradley Beal is the guy that just doesn't fit, doesn't make sense, just the odd man out. But if you get rid of Devin Booker, he's no longer the odd man out, and now he can slot into his more natural role as the two. Now, if you can turn Devin Booker into several key pieces, I would look to like Orlando, right? Can you get like a Jalen Suggs and, like a Wendell Carter Jr. and a Jonathan Isaac or something like that, plus like picks and assets for Devin Booker, right? Devin Booker is going to yield like an insane return, right? Because now you have something like a Jalen Suggs as that 3-and-D point of attack, and he's one of the best in the league. Now you have something like that, or can you get a Dyson Daniels and some other stuff, right, from Atlanta, something like that? Point is, can you get that initiating point of attack guard, right, 3-and-D style guard, alongside Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and then go get a big physical, sizable two-way forward, right? Jonathan Isaac is a guy that, again, injury concerns, but you already have injury concerns, right? But can you get like a Jonathan Isaac or Wendell Carter Jr. or maybe both, right? And then have Nick Richards. That's just a much more balanced, versatile unit. And you're hoping that, you can have Bradley Beal return, which I think he would, back to like a 23-point-a-game guy. I think Bradley Beal would get back to being a 23, 5-5 guy. We've seen him do it when Devin Booker or Kevin Durant aren't playing, and even some games where he's came off the bench. I just think that's probably your only hope. Because trading Kevin Durant, you're not going to get the return. You'll get probably a decent return, but you're not going to get a return that's going to be enough to just revamp this roster, and you still have the biggest redundancy, which is Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. But yes, if you could trade Bradley Beal, that would be great, but you're not, like, who's giving you anything for Bradley Beal? Even if you can find a sucker to take him on, is that sucker going to be sucker enough to actually give you quality assets and players and pieces? Probably not. You're probably just taking on whatever you can get in the hopes that maybe those guys depth-wise can make you better. Right? Like, it's just, and then at that point, like, you might as well just keep Kevin Durant, right? And hope Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and then whatever, salary filler pieces you get, maybe they can add some depth and play something. It's just, I don't see a path in a scenario. And again, how long do you have before? You're better to trade Devin Booker now than when he wants out, and now he really, like, now teams know, oh, you have no choice, right? Better to have the choice than otherwise. There were reports in the offseason that Devin Booker would be open to a trade, right? If I'm the Suns, I would go in, sit down, right? Talk to Devin Booker and say, hey, here's our thought process. Here's what we're thinking, right? We want to try to tear this down and rebuild in a year or two, right? How do you feel about that? Do you want us to maybe look for a trade for you? Do you have a couple teams in mind that maybe you're interested in, right? Because, maybe we have some things in mind if you're open to it, right? We don't want to trade you. We're not saying we're going to trade you, but if you're looking to do it, we understand, hey, you're 28, give him the whole spiel, right? Now you kind of put the ball in his court, right? So that way, if he's like, you know what, yeah, like I don't want to go through another rebuild. Okay, now you look great. Now it's like, hey, we wanted to do right by Devin Booker. He gave us a list of teams. We're working with those teams. Right now, you're in a position. Now bidding war can start. Now it's not this like, oh, Devin Booker wants out. He's forced to trade. He's requested a trade. Now teams are like, we know we got you, right? And yes, there's still going to be a bidding war. You're still going to get a good return, but you're in the driver's seat rather than the other side, and you still look good. All parties are happy. Everyone's right. You tear this thing down and you rebuild and you get as many assets as you possibly can. Or, like I said, you look to keep Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant and try to go win. Because Matt Ishbia said himself that he never wants to be a rebuild team, that he always wants to try to go for it. So is he really going to trade everybody just to rebuild? Probably not, right? So then if Devin Booker's open to a trade, I know it would suck. I know Phoenix Suns fans would hate it. But if Phoenix is good, right, and Phoenix actually is a team that looks like they can contend and stuff, problem is that if they're still terrible, then it's just like you traded Devin Booker to be terrible and you still have no assets. But, you got to pick a direction is my point. You got to pick a lane one way or another. Like, what's the path? I think rebuilding and spending the next 3-4 years rebuilding, and now Devin Booker's 31, 32 years old, and, he's going to, how many more years does he have left? Right? How many more years is he going to be peak Devin Booker? Right? And then let's say you do start putting the pieces together. Now Devin Booker's declining. You're on like a time crunch now. Now you only have maybe a year or two to try to really contend. And that's assuming that all these other teams aren't, what do the teams like the Spurs look like in a couple years, and the Lakers with Luka, and you have all these teams. What thing gets Cooper Flag, and do they start doing right? You still are gonna have OKC. You're still gonna have a lot of these teams, right? That are still gonna be Houston. Do they get a star or two, right? Like there's still a lot going on out there. Even Boston's still young, and the Cavs, right? Like there's still a lot. I don't see a path where this works, and it's just like, is Devin Booker going to be willing to just kind of ride it out? But that's why I think you put the ball in his court. Because if he says, you know what, it's fine, I'll just stay, then cool. Then you can go through the rebuild and you're good, right? Because now you don't look bad. Now it's not like, no, Devin Booker said this is what he's okay with. He's fine. He gave us the okay, right? Now you look good. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Feel, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.